No, you will have an excellent conclusive speech because the main quality of a conclusive speech is that it has thought. And to be sure. I found this debate and the book extremely interesting. I've learned much. This is a new debate, not fully new, but if you look rather long term, it is rather new. And it is a central policy issue, because here we have a very clear case in which the market can develop up to a point, provide solution to social issues up to a point, and which is the point, and how to find the correct size of non-market question. We started off in Italy and in large part of Europe with a heavily regulated monopoly, or not heavily regulated, but quite a monopoly. And the opening up of markets provides market signals, probably too weak in the beginning, but sufficient for some to develop. So we might have regulation displaced by market. We might have the market really providing some solution to social problems, as Arne Neumann has been indicated. The well-functioning markets, the forward-looking operators can solve some social issues. For other aspects, regulation may be the obstacle when regulation prevents the markets from developing. And the case of the Italian tariff has been quoted. But there are other aspects in which it's difficult to see the market to develop up to the point to provide a solution. So the choice of an optimal solution has become a matter for public debate, and books like this are needed, and meetings like this are needed. A lot of the discussion, I think Mr. Nash exposed the need of debate. Many of these issues were object of analysis internal to vertically integrated companies, and they now have to be moved to optimization issues. The use of models, highly technical issues, lie at the core of political decisions now. There is a basic statement that is Anna's introduction, and it is in the book, and it's storage capacity is efficient. And it was in the slide, and it was in general, but then develops it particularly with the British case, demonstrating that if you take a good model and run it with the right inputs, you find out that the lack of precautionary gas stocks is not good, not consistent with the social optimization. And Mrs. Infante indicated that it is difficult for the market to solve this problem because this risk investment returns are very far in the future. So we have a problem of we would say this is an externality that needs to be faced by public action or correct incentives to the private operators. Again, this is a cost-benefit list that is required because of different ways to this issue, more interconnections or storage capacity, where the storage capacity. We need this sort of a cost-benefit analysis. This is a European problem. And while I greatly appreciated Mr. Van Haster's presentation of the competition aspects of the issue, it's a very DG Comp presentation with the very clear presentation of the aspects of market power, the aspects of how transparency can help. It seems to me that the present orientation of the Commission is very pragmatic, taking notice of the political constraints, and so stressing what can be done. Transparency, confidence in a well-run competition policy to face abuses, dangerous developments here and there, and accepting a variety of situations, a variety of solutions in the various countries. That's all. But we have problems here on the side, not of competition policies, but on the side of energy policy, according to the distinction that Mr. Villeneuve presented, that require some action, public action. Now, it seems to me that public action taken at the national level is completely irrational. So this is a very clear example, in my view, that all the problems of public activity, intervention that are discussed here, beyond the competition aspect, that is the problem of long-term investment for security of supply, very inefficient solution if the solution is looked for at the national level. These are typical European problems. And so what I am trying to throw to your attention is whether we have to develop some sort of European strategy approach. If we have to use models and try to quantify the needs, we should do it for the market, which is the European market. That's pure rationality. And I don't see many signs of this coming out in the European debate. Probably this is not easy to be dealt with because of national jealousies and company jealousies, perhaps. But it seems to me that this is important. And why not imagine to have some indicative levels of storage capacity set at the European level? And indicative is just one step, very important. But then it might be accompanied by some sort of incentives. Look at what's happened in the field of electricity interconnections. We have a political decision, sanctioned so far, but a clearly political decision and obligation to develop electric connections with a transmission capacity at least of the national consumption, which is completely irrational. We have discussed that in other places, and from the point of view of economic analysis, it makes no sense. But I'm not saying that it makes no sense to have it. That particular target is naive and irrational. But some indicative target on storage capacity at the European level seems to me that it could be very rational. And this could be accompanied by some common regulation about how to face emergencies. The emergencies have been discussed here, and there are. I mean, the probability happening is not zero, and problem has to be increased at national level. Again, this is perfectly irrational, and the danger that Mr. Villeneuve raised. In case of emergency, you will have heavy political intervention on prices. Well, this is a disruption of the European market. We cannot work on a market and forget that it can be disrupted and just say, oh, I don't want to think about that. No, we have to think about it. And so the procedures to face emergencies using gas storage among other instruments, these procedures should be discussed in advance. You don't get any political agreement when the emergency is there. When you have the political and you have the popular pressures on the governments, then you get nationalistic approaches at that point. It is too late. You have to discuss earlier. And this is the same for electricity and for gas. But gas storage is a very important instrument. So if there is, this is the case in which if there is an investment to be made in long-term capacity that is economic and not remunerative, that could be a typical common good solution to be taken at the union level. Last, let's go back to Italy as an example, because some problems are not very different from other countries. But specifically in Italy, we have seen that storage has a very low price. And I think I am interpreting correctly what has been said by saying that it has a very high value. It has a value that need not be expressed in price as long as the company is vertically integrated, but it becomes a problem when you open the market. So how can we have a low price and high value at the same time? Well, there has to be some de facto rationing so that the facility is there, but it is not available to all. Otherwise, you will have the presence of high value and low prices at the same time. Rationing is not explicit, but it is there. So what happens in time? I think that this situation is getting weaker and weaker. You have new entrants, you have interest for pushing towards something changing in Italy. So there has been an increase in the administered tariffs. And others rely on getting more than that in some way. And so developing, the development relies on TPA exemptions, which is an implicit way of getting the high value without showing the high price. And the social cost. But that's it. Alberto Cavaliere mentioned this. I see three possible outcomes. One is purely theoretical. It is regulation takes us backwards and free prices and no more tariffs at all, which is perfectly rational. Once you have achieved a very high level of competition, very unlikely that that happens quickly. Second scenario, a French solution for Italy. That is a two-tier market, some constraints up to a point, a certain quantity of strategic storage with an administered price and then free market for... France is not probably exactly like this, but two markets. Or third, a likely event is that competition develops among vertically integrated concerns. So the extension of TPA option means that we are going to have more storage sites, more competition within one country or across borders, because that is possible if we have the pipes, and the pipes are there. Market, competitive market in storage without a competitive price of storage services, because the competition develops among vertically integrated companies. But the storage service is internal. I am not sufficiently specialized in the field to imagine what is the likely outcome, but I don't see any other outcome than one of these three. And I think this is one for further debate, which I wish will develop and which will use the present book and this morning's arguments for great use. So I would ask that the debates of this morning develops into something, not another book, but something that is accessible. No access exemption on this intellectual capital. Thank you very much.